Let me make sure I mute this here. Make sure I'm on here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me make sure. See. Good morning. We're going to get started in a minute. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. Hey guys, good morning. Get you all up on early. You know what I'm saying? Getting up early, we got us early people, we try to be humble about it. But it's something about when you looking around. Let's say if you're like me, sometimes I go running, I go walking, I go to the gym. It's dark, everybody is asleep, and it's something like I got a head start on the world. Like I got the keys to this thing. Got the keys to this thing. Good morning. All right, so we are going to not going to take long to get started today, but I am just going to give it a little bit. It's not a lot of us that get up early to get this prayer in, but that's okay. That's fine. We here though. We are here. We are here. Good morning. Um, all right, I'm going to go ahead and just get started because I think I'm going to start. I could have streamed directly from YouTube today. I really could have. I feel like the quality would have been a lot better on YouTube, but it's fine. Um, Good morning. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. At first, I felt like when I do the morning prayer that it has to be extra organized and that I have to have all of the, you know, topic laid out. And just because it's in my nature to be heavily organized, like I want to know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And I am in a season of just letting go and letting God. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still need some organization. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I still need some basics. But as much as it used to stress me out, I'm not. I just don't even have time, y'all. But today is June 8th, and it is the first time, and I'm going to say 20 years that I've acknowledged my mom's death, the date of her death. I don't think since she's died that I take this date in. Um, and I have done a lot of work. And you know what? I want to like really say that. Like you got to really give yourself credit when you're doing work on you. I have done work. I am doing work on self. And so I came into prayer and I was just like writing in my prayer journal. And I was like, it's June 8th. And I just sat in a moment with God and I just started to talk about and recognize all of the beautiful things about my mom that I love. Even acknowledging some of the things that were hurtful, but that I am not upset. I'm not angry, that I understand and I understood where she was during those times and that overall she was the most beautiful person and really reflecting on that because I haven't done it. Once my mom died, I just moved on. It was easier for me to do that because that's how I dealt with any hurt and any pain. I just put it away. And so it's June 8th. It's now 20 years from my mom's death. And she died from colon cancer. It was everything just happened really fast. One day she was fine, the next she was diagnosed, and then she was suffering and death. It just, your whole life changes overnight. And today I am just celebrating her. I'm going to use this moment to celebrate her and just talk about some of the things that I've been doing to deal with her death now, 20 years later. I know that's crazy. That's crazy. But I'm doing it. I'm doing the work. But I do want to start off in prayer. Um, yeah, so let's get started. God, thank you. Thank you for waking me up this morning, God. Just thank you for everything that you are doing in my life and that you're doing in everyone's life. But um, thank you for the work. Thank you for the support. I thank you for comfort. I thank you for grace. And I thank you for your forgiveness, for the times that you directed me and I didn't follow that direction. But you had grace, you had forgiveness, and you had empathy. And me being able to recognize that empathy, that love that you have for me just makes me fall in love even more. And I just ask today that you just come in and that you surround us with your love. You surround us with your care. There's people today that just need your comfort, God. They just need your comfort and they need to feel your arms around them. They need to feel your presence. They need to have an experience with you, God. There's people today that are hurting. There's people today that are mourning, that are grieving loss of loved ones, loss of parts of their selves, loss of maybe hopes and dreams. And so we're asking that you just come in and just, we're asking for comfort. We're asking for you to spread your love and comfort, God. And we're asking for your direction, for your direction. So with your comfort to direct us in how to navigate hurt, how to navigate pain, how to navigate grief, God. We can't do it by ourselves, God. When we're not our best selves, when we're making mistakes, we just ask that you just keep holding on to us. Don't let us go. Don't let us go and just remind us of your presence in our life. Remind us of everything that you've been able to bring us out of, and that no matter the situation, no matter how dark it looks, no matter how hard it looks, no matter how it looks that everything is falling apart, God, that you got us and that you brought us out of worse. And that if not yet, if this is our biggest challenge and we're feeling like, God, this is the hardest thing you've ever asked me to do, because I won't say specifics, but God, this week you showed me something that I never thought I would see. And it hurt me like I've never hurt before, God. But you were so present in that moment. And I thank you, God. I thank you because I know that if I didn't have you in my life, I know that if this would have been a couple of years ago, God, that I would not have made it through. But having you in my life, having you beside me and around me, talking to me, comforting me, loving on me, got me through faster than I even imagined. It felt like the impossible. But there was nothing in me that wanted to give up. There was nothing in me that wanted to stop because God, I knew I had you and I knew I had your support and I knew that there was a reason, God. You've been taking me through this season of breaking me down and building me up. And you're breaking me down because I've been on such rocky foundation for so long, starting from a child. And your mercy is like, I gotta tear this down, Alicia, and it's gonna hurt, but I got something beautiful for you. And so I want to let whoever is on here that's listening, that's praying, that it hurts and it looks horrible, but sometimes God has to break you down. He has to tear it all up because it's trash, it's garbage anyway. It's cheap, it's garbage, it's badly built. And he's breaking it down to give you a new and solid foundation to stand on and build on. And so he's going to break you down to build you up something beautiful and better than what you have ever imagined. And so I just pray for anyone who's just going through anything difficult and hard today, no matter what it is. If you've lost someone again, if you've lost a job, if you've lost something that you were working on, entrepreneurship goals, if anything, a relationship, I just pray for peace and comfort from God. And I think one of the biggest things that I'm learning in this is that there is no, I can't do anything without prayer. I cannot do anything without prayer. You can't do anything without prayer. You got to have a relationship with God. You got to talk to him. And there is no, it's intimidating at first. Sometimes when I would hear people pray, I'm like, oh, I don't pray like that. For thou art thou and God and he and the mercies and you come. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to even talk to God because he's going to look at me like, girl, what are you saying? But it's just conversation. I literally come in here. This is my prayer room. And for example, this morning, I just took my little blanket, laid it over me, sat on my couch, and I just talked to him like, God, wow, what a week this has been. Thank you for getting me through it. I cried a few more tears, you know, but just like I'm talking to someone, like someone that I know. And I feel like I know him a lot better than I did. And so I'm very comfortable. God is someone that I'm very comfortable with, you know, and just come in like a conversation. It doesn't have to sound like Psalms. It doesn't have to sound like poetry. Just God, even when you're having a bad day, it's okay to say, I'm lost. Like I'm confused. What are you doing? What are you doing? I had a moment like that this week. I don't know if I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because my relationship, I feel like is so tight right now. I knew exactly what he was doing. He was answering my prayers. And sometimes that's why I say, be careful what you ask for, because sometimes things are tied into your prayer. So you may have a little pain as your prayer is being answered, but it's always for the best. It's always beautiful. And so create a praying relationship with God. And you don't need a prayer room. I've noticed when I said that to people, they're like, oh, I don't have, I just go, I don't really have nowhere to pray. Yes, you do. When you're waking up in the morning and you're laying in your bed, before you even open your eyes, just lay there. God, thank you so much. Like when you realize I just woke up and how powerful that is, how many people are not getting that chance to do it all over again. I just woke up again. God, thank you. Maybe it's during the week before you're getting ready to go to work. God, thank you. Um, I don't want to go to this place this morning. That's kind of have my conversation. I don't want to be in here today, God. So I'm just going to ask that you come with me. Just come with me in this building and just remind me throughout the day that you are here with me when I'm making decisions. Help me to make decisions based on what you would do and things that would please you. Just simple things. It's not that complex. Um, but yeah, so really quick, I didn't plan to stay on here long today. Um, I just wanted to talk about a few things. I did find a scripture that I want to share just because I feel like what I'm trying to build my channel into is this is me basically journaling my rebuilding of my relationship with God. And I was raised in church, but I never really understood what it meant to have a relationship with God or how to do it. I felt like those pieces were missing. And so now I'm just feeling my way around and I'm learning it with God. And so I've learned that, and I've always heard it, but now I understand it even more that this here is critical. His word is critical. And there's so much in his word. Um, that just there's moments where I need something and I can find it here. And it just really it makes me emotional. And so getting you a little Bible helps as well, but I did find a scripture that really touched me this morning as I am dealing with my mom's death and just sitting in it today like I've never done before. Isaiah 57, verses 1 through 2, it says, "The righteous perish, and no one takes it to heart. The devout are taken away, and no one understands that the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil. Those who walk uprightly enter into peace. They find rest as they lie in death." There's many different scriptures that can comfort you. That one comforted me because my mom, not my grandmother too, from what I heard, but I can say my mom was a praying mother. I would hear that woman in her bedroom for hours praying, speaking in tongues. I didn't really understand it. I'm like, she could go for hours. And even when she was sick and suffering from cancer, I could hear that woman in there alone, praying, speaking in tongues, all alone for hours. And so when you see someone with that sort of relationship with God and they suffer in the way that they do, you start to wonder, God, what is this? What is this? Where are you? Where are you? She loves you. Where are you? Um, and I remember coming to a point, even this is me not even in a relationship with God, but what gave me peace, and I'm sure it was God. Now that I look back, I know it was God that was like, I reflected. I remember reflecting on everything in my mom's life. My mom, I had a young mom. She died young. I believe she was 41, 42. Um, and I remember just having images of her life. I remember just a lot of suffering, a lot of struggle. My mom struggled a lot financially. There wasn't a lot of stability in my life because she was just trying to figure things out. We had a point of stability, but as she got into a relationship with my stepdad, that kind of fell apart. And you could see her working really hard. My mom was a really hard worker, but she never just got it right, unfortunately. I don't remember seeing, like when I think about it, I feel sad because I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember seeing my mom be happy a lot. And I just don't even know if I ever really thought about it until after she was gone. But there was one day I just reflected on that. And then I got this sense of peace of like thinking about her relationship with God and like she's happy now. Like she's with God. Like there, I know it's way better than what she suffered through this world. And so it gave me peace in that moment. And thinking about it now, I know that was God. Even when I know I didn't pray. Like so many times, God shows up for us where we're not even seeking Him. We are turning our backs on Him, and He still shows up. He is a faithful, consistent, unchanging God. And so when I read this scripture, it just made me think about that moment of like, why would I mourn her not being here, going through the things that she was going through, suffering through the things that she suffered through, even before cancer? My mom loved God. She had full faith in God. I'm mourning something that it's like, girl, I remember having like dreams. My mom like, I'm like, Mom, you died. And she like, girl, I'm fine. And so I can picture her and them and like, y'all worried about something that I'm good. You get you together. So I just wanted to share that scripture. So I don't know, hopefully it helps somebody else. But um I wanted to talk about my favorite memory with my mom. I have a lot of great memories. In my teenage years, we struggled in our relationship a little bit more, which I think that's normal for a lot of teenagers and especially moms and daughters. But when I think about it, I had a lot of great memories. My mom was like a very loving person, touchy-feely, lovey. And I know I'm learning a lot of people didn't have moms like that. But like I was 18. She died when I was 18, almost 19. But I would be 18 and we would go into the store, like I'm holding my mom's hand. Like, what? And my mom was she was tall but skinny, 6'2", skinny. I would be trying to sit on her leg. I'm small too. I mean, I'm a small person as well. But I sitting on my mom's lap, like very loving. And one of my favorite memories, it was a Christmas that we had. I don't remember how old I was. I was pretty young, but it was like out of a movie. My mom went out of her way. I remember sending us to our Aunt Glenda's house, and it was for her to prepare the home and wrap the gifts. She didn't have them under the Christmas tree. And then we came home, and this whole thing about, not opening your eyes because I'm not going to even say, no, I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it. If you open, I was scared of Santa because he tell me not to open my eyes or I'm going to go blind. Like, what? Parents, we got to be careful what we doing to these kids. But I was terrified. It's supposed to be a happy moment. You done scared me now. But we woke up that next morning and like everything that I asked for and more was like lining the halls and just the way that she had it, the time and love that she put in it, decorating and setting everything up, putting like everything was all already out of the boxes. They took the time to just put everything together. I remember just bunch of beautiful Barbies, the holiday Barbies. I got this stove that year. Just it was just a really beautiful classic holiday moment. And I don't know, I just always held on to that because I just remember that feeling of just love. And she was just lit up. I think she was just lit up like a Christmas tree as well, just proud of what she was able to do, right? And during that time, I remember that was probably some of the best time my mom's life. It was before my stepdad. It was just me and my sister at the time. I have two younger brothers, but she was then at the time a manager at a KFC. So she was starting to do good for herself. And I think she was proud of what she had accomplished and what she could do for us. So that was a beautiful moment, a moment for me. But yeah, I also wanted to share what I learned from my mom. Um, the best thing that I learned from my mom, number one, she was a very strong woman. And all of her sisters are that way. I love and admire my aunts because these are some strong women. I mean, they do it all. Business owners, um, take care of everybody. They cook. They're from Mississippi, y'all, so they know it all. But I just admire her strength, her grind, and I really admire her relationship with God. And I think that's the thing that I took away, even when I didn't realize it, observing her throughout my life with going to church, with prayer. It's the thing that I started thinking about when I was trying to build a prayer relationship with God. Like, what was she doing in that room? Like, I could hear her in there, but I don't know how she got to that point. And so I'm like, well, just go in the room. And so I started coming in this room, and then it's been building and growing ever since. I have a lot more growing to do, but I think about that all the time. So that's one of the biggest things that I learned from my mom is her relationship with God and prayer. Um, my next level right now is therapy and healing because again, this is the first year that I've acknowledged my mom's death. Like it's June 8th. This is when I lost my mom, and I just want to stop and sit in it and feel whatever I need to feel and talk about it. And so I talked about it in another video for those of you who have seen it, like I'm getting therapy. And I've never had anything against therapy. I just had not taken the steps, and I finally took the steps. I went to a therapist. I am going to say the first therapist that I went to, I decided not to go to her because I didn't believe that my values as far as God were reciprocated, and that I wouldn't be, I feel like part of my healing, I need to be able to talk about God in the way that I need to be able to talk about God, because a lot of the healing that I'm doing is through my relationship with Him. And so I found a Christian counselor who instantly connected with, and she was excited, I was excited, because I was just able to be so open with her spiritually. Like, I can talk about the hurt and pain, but let me talk about the things with God and what God has brought me through and what God is working with me on and how He's working with me. I need to be able to Jesus it up through this therapy session, and I need you to know what I'm talking about, man. So I'm doing therapy. I think that's great for healing. You need God, but God has these people out here who are gifted in this way. And we need to be able to talk to people outside of just your spouse, your sister, your brother, your friends. Like, I just need to be able to say what I need to say, no judgment, and go from there. And so I just want to encourage anybody who has lost someone, who has lost something, right? Because grief and mourning and loss, it's not just people. Sometimes it's things happen in your life, with a career, with a business, with a goal, different things, with a relationship, and you lose that, and you have to mourn that. It's the same feeling. And so I just want to encourage you, number one, to pray, to talk to God, and understanding that that doesn't have to be structured. It's literally just, God, walk me through this, help me. What are you doing? Where are you taking me? What is this shenanigans? God, I'm telling you, I've been like, God, okay, I get it. I get what we're doing here, and I love you so much. I love you so much, God, okay? But wait, what are we doing? Okay. And He answers, and then He comforts you, He humbles you, He gets you together, okay? Like Job, okay? I'm relating to Job more and more every day. Like, God, I'm your faithful servant. What's going on? And then, but God gets me together, like He got Job together. And so I receive that. And then learning as I'm learning, and we can learn together, going into His word, it's so beautiful. Like, when you find yourself in here, when you find, and not even just finding yourself, when you find things in here that can teach you, that can comfort you, that can guide you, it's just power. It's a lot of power. It's a lot of power. Well, guys, follow me on Instagram. I'm starting to post a lot more things there in relation to my journey, rebuilding my relationship with God, um, learning more about Him, things that I missed along the way in all these years. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. I'm going to say this one last thing. I was going to hesitate to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I didn't know. It seems like every morning that I come here, I'm like, I didn't know if I was going to come today. No, I knew I was going to come today. Let me not. That would be a lie. I was going to come today because I got a rebellious spirit. But I had someone speaking to me, and this is not to talk negative about them. I had someone that I respected speaking to me that almost discouraged me from doing this. Okay, that almost discouraged me from doing this. And it's just been playing in my mind over and over again and making me feel, I've been talking about how I feel very insecure about doing this. And so it made me start questioning something that I knew that God has told me to do. And so you got to be careful. Always come back to God. Always come back to your conversation with God. What is He telling you to do? I don't care who it is, your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your uncle, your pastor, your whoever. Your direction is God. If you need to check something, if you're doubting something because somebody has planted a seed, you want to know where you go? You go to God. So I just want to remind you and encourage you that I want to encourage anyone that's hurt, anyone that's going through anything, okay? And I saw someone posted something and they deleted it that they lost their mom. And I want you to know that I'm praying for you. And I want you to know that I'm not going to say that you won't ever feel that pain again, but that pain is eased through God, through conversation with God, and through leaning on loved ones and people that love and care about you. It's nothing, nobody can explain the loss of a mother. Doesn't matter what age you always need your mommy. There have been so many times. This week, I needed my mommy so bad. And I'm saying mommy because that's that feeling. I went through something so hard this week. I needed my mommy. I needed her. But I got through it with the love and the grace and the comfort of God. And so I want to remind you of that. Thank you guys so much. I love and care about you. I'm going to see you next weekend. Bye.